It was late at night. The doctor leaned over my hospital bed and spoke slowly, clearly, and carefully. He didn't want me to miss a word. The tumor was large, he said. I believe this is very serious. My recommendation is that you return home as soon as possible and put your affairs in order. What is God doing when He allows pain, suffering, discouragement, and disillusionment into our lives? How do we reconcile our shattered dreams and crushing disappointments with His heart of perfect love and kindness toward us? As a young man, David experienced a crash course in these formative life lessons. Already chosen to be the next king of Israel, with a distinguished military career that brought fame, honor, and popularity, we find him suddenly running for his life from the very king whom he loved and served so faithfully. In Psalm 142, written while hiding in the cave of Adullam, we hear David wrestling with the mysteries of God and His ways. Avoiding shallow platitudes, David's prayer rings with the raw power, marking all true thirsty seekers, desperate to know this wild and untamed God. Verse 1, I cry aloud to the Lord. Verse 2, I pour out my complaint before Him. Or perhaps you have felt like David describes in verse 4, no one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. And then again in verse 6, perhaps the most heartrending of all, listen to my cry, for I am in desperate need. Many of us can testify with David that there are times when the onslaught of life threatens to overwhelm us. I certainly felt that way that late night after hearing the verdict of an excellent, well-qualified doctor. You see, through these challenging circumstances, God removes all these other things in which we place our confidence. Our roles and titles, our abilities, finances, health, education, even our good name. And He calls us to wait, to trust, to overcome in prayer as we rely only and desperately on Him. God orchestrated these events of David's life to lead him into the cave along a pathway to greater intimacy with Himself. And so He does with us. God fully understands the intricacies of our hearts. He has been there each and every step of our journey, weaving together the tapestry of our lives according to His perfect plan. Nothing has been wasted. No experience, tragedy, or heartache has gone unnoticed or been by accident. Cancer and the 18-month odyssey of pain accompanying it was one of the greatest blessings our loving Heavenly Father ever allowed into my life. A stripping, honing, and shaping in the cave allowed me to say with the Apostle Paul, this happened that I might not rely on myself, but on God. Like David, God was bringing me to the very end of myself, teaching me the bedrock, unchangeable truth that we are never alone. God knows what our hearts ultimately long for, authentic relationship with Him. And He beckons us to follow Him to that place of perfect rest and freedom. Then, as we respond to the sovereign echoes of His grace, we are able to join the crescendo at the end of David's psalm, Set me free from my prison, that I may praise your name. Has God taken you into the cave? Have your dreams been shattered this day? You can trust that in the midst of life's greatest difficulties and most heart-wrenching mysteries, He wants to be your closest confidant, counselor, and friend. He will never leave you nor abandon you. He is the God of the deepest cave. Soli Deo, only God and God alone.